fuck them kids. I don't know. I ain't even thinking of that right now.
How old are you?
20.
That's what.
Lying like a bitch. 25. Nah, no, nigga, yeah. Okay, what's up, my nigga? You got it? No. It's hard as the pick. They said W. They said W. Rafi. Yeah. W. Stick, nigga. Long live Draco, nigga. Yeah. Bitches. It's hard just to pick one.
Well, you got energy today.
I got to. I want to take one. Hey, you live out here? Let's do something. Yeah. Hey, Sean, get his shit too. All right. Yeah, coordinate that. Let's do something this week. Let's lock that in. Oh, so. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Let me get another one of them hoax, gang. Damn.
Somebody drinking this shit.
Hey, make us that one drink you just made again.
Somebody, that's what I'm saying. Somebody drinking the fuck out that shit. We should have probably got
You
two.
gotta put some Red Bull in it.
Red Bull? That's why I'm feeling so energized, nigga. You say you got a lot of energy? This is Red Bull, cuz.
Fuck her.
Y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all be mixing y'all shit, huh?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Hey, chat.
Gotta get another cup. You lost.
Any nigga on YouTube? Oh, wait. My bad. My bad, chat.
Remember, I double my shit up.
Hey, chat. Any nigga on YouTube streaming our shit, cuz.
Hey,
That
who
is
got
not
a
us.
pool game? You shoot.
Niggas is plagiarizing the copyright.
shoot
We
both?
just got a nigga shit taken down yesterday. Yeah. Ban them niggas. Report them niggas for copyrighting and plagiarizing. That is not us. Come to kick.com/Dean the Great, kick.com/Agent Broner. Fuck them niggas. That's not us streaming, gang. Come over to Kick. Y'all can stream on y'all TV, Kick the TV app. Fuck them. But to the other niggas that's giving us
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. You are tuning into the Morris Report, and boy, howdy. I'll tell you what, we have one hell of a show ahead of us today. First off, ladies and gentlemen, massive updates coming out of the once great state of California this morning. And as things currently seem, I'll tell you what, it actually looks as if the California State Democrats have actually just walked into yet another one of President Trump's master traps. A trap, I kid you not. We're going to break it all down. Maybe things are not as bad as they seem down in California. In other news, the Supreme Court this morning has just dropped an absolute bombshell 6-3 ruling that has the Democrats absolutely reeling, panicking, terrified. And we might just be getting some additional Supreme Court bombshells here in the very near future that all of us really have pretty good reason to be excited about. We'll talk about that. And also, President Trump this morning has just given all of us one of the most curious, one of the most peculiar updates that we have ever gotten pertaining to the ongoing situation with Iran. It's really going to make us scratch our head and say, wait a minute, what the hell did he mean by that? Huh? Plus, on top of that, Trump has just issued to the Iranian regime directly what can only be described as a very explosive ultimatum. So we're going to break it all down today, folks. Do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Happy Sunday afternoon, folks. With that little bit of an introductory preamble out of the way, I think the first thing I would like to do is start talking about what is currently going on in the once great state of California. Currently, maybe not so great, but the future is bright. California will be made great again. I really think so. And I think President Trump thinks so as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, right this very moment, the California State Democrats are very clearly attempting to rig an election in real time, right in front of all of our very eyes. That much is painfully obvious. But what if I told you that everything that is currently happening right now down in California is actually part of yet another one of President Trump's master plans? What if the California State Democrats have just blindly stumbled into yet another one of President Trump's traps? Well, today we're going to break all of that down. But first, do me a favor. Make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Now, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at where things currently stand. What is going on in California? Let's start off with the bad news. Spencer Pratt is likely going to be overtaken by the far-left candidate. Nithya Raman is her name, and she's expected to overtake him today. This graph here, you're looking at it, shows the count on election day all the way up to last night. Nithya did this by suddenly winning first in every single new ballot drop. How weird is that? You can see, let's look at the chart. Karen Bass up top, 35% of the vote. She's just maintaining where she is, not up, not down, just about the same. Pratt is plummeting. Nithya Raman is surging, skyrocketing. North Korean elections have more self-respect than what we're witnessing right here. Even they would find it absurd for the third place candidate to suddenly jump up to first place on every ballot drop days after the election has concluded. This is just ludicrous. What's more, here's an even better chart, and I really want you to take a look at this. Just in, a Karen Bass, Nithya Raman runoff is looking increasingly likely in November, according to Saturday's batch of election results that came in late last night. Council member Nithya Raman just gained 2.24 points over Spencer Pratt, cutting Pratt's lead down to 1.11% in the LA mayoral race. And you can see, what do you notice here? Karen Bass just as flat as a pancake. Okay, as flat as the ocean's horizon here. Pratt in yellow, right here. He's in the middle in yellow, plummeting, tanking. Nithya Raman, as more and more of these ballots keep coming in, she just keeps on skyrocketing, surging. Now, here's what is very peculiar. As all of these late mail-in ballots come trickling in, Karen Bass's vote percentage has had literally zero change. Not at all. No, all of these new votes are going directly, they're getting directly funneled, it seems like, towards Nithya Raman, as Spencer Pratt's share of the vote just continues to plummet down. And keep in mind here, only the top two candidates here get to move forward to the actual mayoral election in November, a couple months from now. Very curious. Pardon me for noticing this, but it almost seems as if someone is rigging the election to make sure that the only two candidates moving forward towards the November election are both far-left Democrats. No common sense Republicans allowed. Huh, it almost seems like that. But now, take a look at this. Because of all of these irregularities. Now there's actually a massive, numerous federal investigations, plural, to figure out what's really going on here. What the hell is going on here? In fact, yesterday afternoon, a U.S. attorney under Trump's directive actually showed up to the Los Angeles election office to personally inspect with his own two eyes the ongoing operations. Seems like they're not really doing much other than adding to Nithya Raman's tally here, to be honest with you. We also this morning just got this statement here. I want to share something with you here. We got a statement here this morning from another one of Trump's U.S. attorneys. And here's where all of this is going to start making sense. Remember, I said the Democrats seem to have just walked into one of President Trump's master traps? Well, let's start making sense of this entire situation. Here's a statement from one of the U.S. attorneys here. This morning, California is blocking a federal audit of its voter rolls. California allows first-time voters to register using forms of ID that most Americans would find surprising, including a gym membership card, employer ID card, credit or debit card, a prescription drug label, insurance card. Keep in mind, California provides free healthcare coverage insurance to undocumented immigrants. You just need one of these forms of ID, if you can even call it that, in order to register to vote in the state of California. This is insanity. This is permitted when a voter fails to provide a social security number or a driver's license at registration. Our office believes this policy deserves a closer look. Thus, we have the federal investigation. We also have serious concerns about how California maintains its voter rolls. There are open questions about whether the state is promptly removing deceased voters from the voter rolls, people who have moved out of the state, and individuals convicted of disqualifying felonies. On top of that, California allows third parties to collect and turn in ballots on a voter's behalf. What? A practice otherwise known as ballot harvesting, with very few restrictions. This makes it very difficult to track who actually received, completed, and submitted each ballot. For over a year, the Department of Justice has been trying to audit California's voter rolls. Federal law gives the Attorney General the authority to review state voter files and confirm that only eligible U.S. citizens are voting in federal elections. Associate Attorney General Harmeet Dillon sent California a letter explaining our legal authority. California refused to comply, claiming state privacy laws block the review, an argument that does not hold up because those laws don't apply to the federal government in this context. As such, we have sued the state of California in federal court, and the case is currently before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. If California genuinely wants voters to trust its elections, it should open up its records, not fight to keep them closed. Here's the question of the day. What are they afraid of? And so, folks, let me share an idea with you. Is it possible that President Trump, the Trump administration, the DOJ legal team, is it possible that they are actually carefully watching what is currently happening in California, carefully observing and investigating everything that's currently going on? Also, that the evidence of these California state election irregularities can then be used to help win this legal case in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. At which point, all of these far-left blue states would then be forced legally to finally turn over their voter rolls, because it's not just California. California's been refusing to turn over the voter rolls. Oregon, Washington, it's like all of them. You pick a blue state, they have been non-compliant. Why are all of these blue states refusing to hand over their voter rolls? And it really is pretty much just exclusively the blue states. Very curious. And once you can topple one of them, okay, you topple all of them. If the DOJ wins this case that's currently in front of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, then guess what? It's not just about California. That is nationally sweeping impacts. Like I said, you topple one, you topple them all. All of them have to turn over their voter rolls. This seems to be what's going on. Okay, the Trump administration, the DOJ, they're carefully watching what's happening in California, taking notes, using this, observing the fraud. Clearly, there's fraud here, to build out the case in front of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, at which point they will be legally obligated to hand over the voter rolls. Well, that seems to be what's going on. But also, ladies and gentlemen, we have a report here. Well, first I want to give you a reminder of something that happened in California just the other day. Look at this. Just the other day, maybe 2 weeks ago, a California state woman was actually federally charged with paying individuals, including homeless people on LA's Skid Row, to register to vote. Keep in mind, if you are registered to vote in the state of California, you necessarily receive an absentee mail-in ballot. Every single registered voter in California state gets a mail-in ballot. Except it's probably not the homeless person on Skid Row that's actually ever receiving that mail-in ballot. It's being preemptively harvested and used to engage in voter fraud. And you've got massive fraud rings in California. This woman pled guilty, literally paying homeless people to register so that then the Democrats could take their mail-in ballot and use it to vote for their favorite far-left candidate. This is the type of stuff that is currently under investigation. We have a report breaking all of this down. Take a listen here.
Yeah, it is. And listen, the world is watching very closely, but we all remember this is the way California does things. It's the reason so many House votes weren't, those races weren't called for days, for weeks in some cases. And California just says we're doing this very meticulously and just kind of give us our space. But even the Washington Post, which is not a conservative outlet, said, listen, this is a damning indictment against blue state politics, the way that you guys are handling this. That's from the Washington Post.
Yeah, actually, in the case of Pratt, who also is now, we're seeing, ballots coming back. Nithya Raman, she actually conceded a few days ago, like 4 days ago, and now suddenly she's up.
Yeah, and these keep tightening. And what we're told is, listen, a lot of these are mail-in ballots. They're going to come in later. Those tend to be more progressive. And apparently people held on to them to the last minute, California says. And again, California mails ballots to every single eligible voter out there. And so you've got millions of people who may be sitting on them. We don't know if they're coming back. So there's a lot of uncertainty built into this stuff with California. And by the way, the Supreme Court, we're waiting on an opinion from them about how long you can actually accept ballots in mail-in ballots after Election Day.
Right.
So might impact this.
Why can't you just say the election is this date? If your ballot's not in by this date, it's done.
Take the day off of work, have it, make it a holiday.
Absolutely.
Or if you're going to use a mail-in, just at least come up with a cutoff window. In some places, it's, well, we're just going to give it a good faith presumption if we can't tell the postmark on it, that kind of thing. I think for a lot of people, red, blue, whatever, wherever you are, they just want to think our votes are clean.
And also to make sure you keep your voter rolls clean, because if you're sending ballots to people who haven't lived in the state in a long time, then that just raises all kinds of opportunities for mischief.
Yeah, like I said, if you're mailing them out to millions of voters, whether they want them or not, whether they still live there, whether they're still alive, if there are people who want to get up to no good, you would think they're going to try to find ways to do that. And they have, also drop boxes there that are not the Postal Service.
Right.
Why have drop boxes separate from the Postal Service? If you're going to go to the effort to, drop something in a drop box, why not just mail it? I don't know. I mean, I think, a lot of questions.
It is a recipe for fraud. You ask why? Well, it's because there's a lot of questions. You ask why? Well, it's because the Democrats want fraud. They are the beneficiaries and the perpetrators of the fraud because it benefits them. But now, folks, beyond that, President Trump, just this morning, he's had enough of this stuff. He actually, frankly, erupted about election fraud this morning during an interview with NBC News. And you know what? Erupted really is the right word. In fact, he actually got up and walked out of the interview mid-interview. You know what? Good. This is a massive problem, and Trump is upset about it. I'm upset about it. We all should be. Folks, take a look at this.
It was a dirty election,
Mr.
and it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
Presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right
2020
now in
election
California.
was rigged.
Right now, it's look at what's
Where's
happening
the
in
evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. It's no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days. And they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count
You know
the
why
votes
they're
in
doing that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all
that?
I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging
They're
the
crooked.
votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you
continue.
play right into their hands. Then.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Let's
you play
continue.
right into their hands with this crap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about
elections
you
in
went
this
to
country.
court.
We're like a third world country.
But, sir,
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and
But,
Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
We
great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
And he gets up and he walks away. The interview is over. What does he say? You are either lying or you are crooked. No, he said, you're either stupid. I'm sorry, you're either stupid or you are crooked. What about all of the above? What about stupid, crooked, and of course they're lying? That's what they do. If their mouth is open, if they are yapping, they are lying. Good for him for walking. He doesn't have to tolerate this. He's the most powerful man in the world. He doesn't have to tolerate this. He shouldn't. And neither should we as a nation. We should not tolerate this election fraud. It's insane. And so thank God the federal investigation underway. The U.S. attorneys are on the ground. Information is being gathered, acquired. The investigations are taking place. This stuff is getting shut down. Thank God for it. That is what it's going to take if we truly actually want to put America first. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have two more massive news segments here, one about Iran and one about the Supreme Court. But I'm seeing some of you here are saying that Iran has just attacked Israel. And so bear with me, folks. We are shooting from the hip here for a minute. Bear with me. I'm scouting out the news. It seems like there might be some sort of emergent development. Do we have some mid-show breaking news? If so, we're going to pull it up right now. Maybe not, maybe so. I don't know. Maybe some people in the chat were deceiving me. Okay, let me pull up two different sources here. Stand by here, folks. Okay, let's break down all of this together. We'll start at the bottom here. So this is good God. Oh yeah, okay. It's been a while since we've seen this. 20 minutes ago, breaking early warning missile launches detected. Alerts may be activated in the coming minutes along southern Golan, northern Golan, upper Galilee. Okay, they're all over Israel. Fighter jet activity reported over Tehran. That's over in Iran. Iran launched missiles at Israel. Israel has warned it will retaliate. Iran may have just started the war again. Now, I just watched one missile being intercepted over northern Israel. This is the launch zone. This is Haifa, northern Israel. At least 4 missiles launched at Israel. Interceptions over northern Israel right now. Iranian ballistic missiles. Let's get this up here. So what do we see? Frankly, very grainy footage. You see a light in the sky, maybe two lights in the sky, very grainy footage. We have Israel officials are promising 10 minutes ago that they are going to respond. Israel officials, we promised we will respond to Iran if they do this, and we will. 9 minutes ago, additional missile launches directed towards northern Israel. More incoming missiles from Iran right now, early warning. Israeli officials are saying Iran is going to be hit hard in response. We're going to hit them hard. Schools, public gatherings everywhere in Israel canceled, shut down the country. Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir says this, quote, "Tonight, Tehran must burn." So the Israelis are a little bit pissed. Okay, I'm going to quickly pull up some live cameras here. One moment here, folks. What can I find? Do we have a live feed? Okay, yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've got cameras all over the place here. So we're going to have this up here for a moment, folks. Don't worry. At some point, we are going to return to our coverage of the other two big stories we have to talk about today. But right now, if this is happening live, we're going to break it down. And that's an airplane. And as this is happening, I'm going to continue to look for updates here. So don't worry, you're in the right place right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me here. So we got that report that there was jet activity, fighter jet activity over Tehran. Makes you wonder, whose fighter jets? We got the reports that fighter jet activity over Tehran seemingly took place prior to Iran launching missiles. At least that's the timeline I saw. You know, the Iranian regime does not, they don't have fighter jets now. They don't have an air force. We blew them up. So it must be Israeli or US flying over Iran. I'm going to set up our red alert website here so we can hear any alerts incoming. This is a test. Okay, that is a test. If Iran launches any more ballistic missiles, we are going to hear it. And you know what? Actually, as of 3 minutes ago, there's a ballistic missile inbound in, once again, northern Israel, in Haifa and just south of Haifa. So if you want to see this, you should probably be looking at Cam 10, southern Lebanon facing Israel. Cam 10. 12 minutes ago, I get a report, additional ballistic missile launches now from Iran towards northern Israel. Okay, 27 seconds ago. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps have previously conditioned the resumption of strikes against Israel on Israel's potential targeting of Beirut. We have seen them say that. And Israel has continued to bomb Hezbollah in Beirut. As of 3 minutes ago, I'm getting a report that a third wave of ballistic missile launches from Iran towards northern Israel. Now, I will tell you something here. President Trump said yesterday, this is yesterday's news, that, all right, launch from Iran, okay, folks, right there. See up top? Ballistic missiles inbound in 7 minutes. In 7 minutes. We just got the update. Now, President Trump, as I was saying, he said yesterday that if, God forbid, any U.S. soldiers are killed anywhere in the Middle East during the ceasefire by the Iranian regime, that he is going, of course, he's going to go scorched earth. That the full-on U.S. bombing campaign of Iran will continue in the event that, God forbid, any American is wounded, injured, killed. He said that yesterday. And I think that's sensible, don't you think? Okay, I'm getting a report. 2 U.S. Stratotankers are just now preparing to take off from Ben Gurion International Airport in Israel, following the launch of ballistic missiles from Iran. So the planes are scrambling. These are 2 Stratotankers. Planes in the air. And here we thought it would be a relaxing Sunday. Breaking news just now, Iran has closed its airspace. Iran has entirely shut down 100% of its airspace. So from the Iranian point of view, they say, okay, we shut down the airspace, meaning, therefore, if anybody is flying over our Iranian airspace, they must be American or Israeli because they are violating our airspace shutdown. So that is effectively Iran coming out and saying, here, going forward, if we catch anybody flying over Iran, we're going to try to shoot them, I guess. And I say I guess because who knows to what degree they are capable of, firing surface-to-air missiles or anything like that. I'm sure that they have stockpiled or resupplied in some shape or form over the last couple of weeks during this ceasefire. I'm sure they've set something up, but whatever they have done over the ceasefire. Oh, folks, camera number top right. That is an Israeli missile interceptor flying up in the sky to go try to pluck down an Iranian ballistic missile. Is what that is. And these ballistic missiles that got launched from Iran are expected to make their way to Israel in about 4 minutes. And so admittedly here, folks, this could end up concluding like in the next 10 minutes. I don't know. Or it could be one hell of a night. I don't know. We've seen Iran fire a ballistic missile here, a ballistic missile there. They violate the ceasefire. They've been firing them at Kuwait. And I don't want to downplay it, but it's kind of nothing happens. We've seen the U.S. over the last couple weeks. I mean, they did it yesterday, as far as I know. We retaliate by taking out some Iranian base along the Hormuz. There's been these from both sides, sort of light attacks compared to what they were 2 months ago. And so this might end up being another instance of that, or it could be all hell breaking loose. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell these days. Yeah, today might end up becoming Power Plant and Bridge Day. Remember that? Power Plant and Bridge Day. We've been talking about that now for 2 months. Okay, the Israeli Defense Force has just issued a statement. They said that air defenses continue to target and intercept Iranian missiles following a third wave of missiles against northern Israel. That's a statement from the IDF. Multiple Israeli media outlets, as well as Axios, are reporting that Israel will retaliate tonight against Iran for tonight's ballistic missile attack. Breaking news right now. It's all happening minute by minute. U.S. President Donald J. Trump has just now been briefed about the escalation between Israel and Iran. A U.S. official tells Axios. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, real quick. Red alerts all over northern Israel. That's northern Israel. So I'd look at the cameras here, namely camera 10 up here in the top right. That's what I'd be looking at. Alerts are now currently sounding all over northern Israel. Happening now. Yeah, you know, I have a feeling that this one is going to be different. During this ceasefire, the degree to which the Iranians have broken the ceasefire, more red alerts, northern Israel. They've been firing ballistic missiles at, like, Kuwait, but not Israel. I think this is going to be different. I think this is going to be different. A lot of red alerts here. Every little ding, ding, ding there is a ballistic missile inbound. Camera 10, top right, top right. Top right. Does it get intercepted? One just got intercepted there. You saw that big burst. On camera 3, top left, you see these big flashes. And it's hard to tell interception or a direct hit. Sometimes the interceptions take place like just above the ground. So just because a missile makes it in real close does not mean it actually hits a building or something. Sometimes they do get intercepted very, very low. Now, given the change in the nature of this broadcast, I need a moment here to probably change my thumbnail and my title. Thank you all for being here on a lovely Sunday afternoon. I appreciate that, folks. Thank you all very much. You know, if they're... Oh, hey, look at that. 2 ballistic missiles inbound, camera 10, camera 3, top left. Interceptors going up. Missiles inbound, top right. 1 interception. Another interception there, and another ballistic missile coming in, camera 10. Will this one be intercepted? There's another interception. You see the interceptor slowly working its way up there. Good God. There's a little boom up there in the sky. It is so hard to tell because it's so dark and the camera quality is a little grainy and we're so far away. We're miles away from this. You're trying to piece together what the hell's going on. And now, folks, I am scanning all the live breaking news update news feeds, figuring out what's going on. Now, let me actually try to get that to you. Hold up here. We're going to have all the breaking updates here in just a moment here, folks. I'll tell you what, I mean, hey, you think Israel's going to be happy about this? Do you think they're just going to sit here and say, oh, well, I guess they fired ballistic missiles at us, whatever? I would speculate not. Israel just now has requested a green light from the United States to strike energy targets throughout Iran following tonight's ballistic missile launches by Iran towards northern Israel. Israel has just called up the United States, maybe even President Trump himself, saying, we want to bomb the living shit out of these guys. We want bridge and power plant day. We want to blow up all the energy, power plants, whatever. I'm getting reports Israel has made that request. Have they received it? We don't know. We'll see what the U.S. has to say. What is Trump going to say about this? Bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me, bear with me. Time will tell, folks. I have a feeling that it is going to be one hell of a day. It might just end up being one hell of a day. There, I've got a new title and a new thumbnail for today's show. I think that's probably fitting. Thank you all here. Hey, it's a one-man show. We're doing the live production deal today. Okay, right now, getting a new report. Additional ballistic missile launches from Iran towards Israel, inbound there, mid-air. So I would imagine here, in just a minute or two, we're going to see up at the top of the screen another missile launch alert. That would be my guess. So everybody stay tuned here. Hold up, I have a video to share with you. Bear with me here. Breaking news. Iranian ballistic missile seen over Karaj in Iran. Well, that sure looks like an Iranian ballistic missile if I've ever seen one. If I've ever seen one. Let's get these back up here on the big screen. A spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Forces has just come out and said that Israel has intercepted all of the ballistic missiles so far that were launched by Iran against northern Israel. I'm seeing that just now. Statement from the IDF. Good. Hey, you don't want to see anybody get blown up here. All missiles intercepted. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, hold up. Breaking news. What do we have here? An explosion seems to have occurred at a missile site in Isfahan, Iran. This is an Iranian missile site. Well, yeah, sure seems like something blew that up. See a big flash? The flash and then the camera cuts out. It was replaying. Flash and then the camera cuts out. You lose the camera feed. So, yeah. That was a missile site in Iran. That might have been us, the U.S., it might have been Israel. Who the hell knows? Something hit it. Something blew that up. Could have been a failed launch. Yeah, no, great idea. It could have been a failed launch. Too early to tell. No, good idea, though. We have seen that. We've seen a lot of Iranian ballistic missile failed launches. Yes, we have. Well, I guess I should have had breakfast today, huh? That was a classic strategic error on my part. Now, folks, I just want to show you real quick what I'm working with. I have all of the top live Middle Eastern news feeds right here, 24/7 live updating. Nothing is happening right now that we are not seeing the minute it happens. You are tuning in to the best place. We have 10 different live cameras, North Israel, South Israel, Iran, all over the damn place, plus all the best open source intelligence, aggregate news feeds. You are tuning in. This is the best place to be, folks. Thank you for being here. Nothing is going to slip by us, okay? We got it all. So we're going to be on top of everything here. Okay, I'm getting a report right now. Air defense activity is being reported over northwestern Iran. Northwestern Iran, air defense activity is reported. Okay, let's make sense of that. Why would there be air defense activity over northwestern Iran? Well, because maybe Israel or the U.S. were flying over northwestern Iran. Sometimes you see a bug or something fly in front of the camera. You say, "Oh, was that a missile?" Nope, it was a mosquito. Okay, cam 2, folks, we just swapped cameras. Camera 2 here is actually from Tehran. So if Tehran starts getting hit, we're going to have front row seat for that also. We're going to know what's up. So bear with me here. We saw 5 minutes ago, report 5 minutes ago, that Israel requested the green light from President Trump or from the United States. What does that mean? Israel wants to retaliate against Iran by blowing up their energy infrastructure. Israel's pissed. I think that makes sense. And they're ready to go scorched earth. But, you know, President Trump is the shot caller here. Okay, 1 minute ago, another round of ballistic missiles launched out of Iran in Tabriz, which is, off memory, northwestern Iran. Northwestern Iran, Tabriz, another round of ballistic missiles launched, presumably towards Israel. Oh, good God, it's another one of those days, huh? I'm also right now getting an early report, unconfirmed, of a ballistic missile impact in northern Israel, possibly in an empty field. Could have hit in the middle of a field, like an agricultural field. That is unconfirmed. I'll try to get more information. We have a statement from the IRGC right this second. They say, we targeted Israel's Ramat David Air Base with IRGC Aerospace Forces ballistic missiles. The IRGC just said that they were targeting Israel's Ramat David Air Base. Now, if you bear with me, I'll pull up a map. And I'll try to show you exactly where that is, okay? So hang tight. Oh, good grief. Well, we have a little bit of a lull. You know, and just looking at the map, that might be actually what they targeted here. Can I show you this? So, Israel, Iran, Israel. Zoom it in. Can we get satellite? Thank you. So here's the Ramat David Air Base in northern Israel. There's Haifa. And this is about the area where we saw these ballistic missiles sort of raining down here. Ramat David Israeli Air Base. This is allegedly what the Iranians were targeting. This is Israeli Air Force Base. And you've got Israeli fighter jets down there and all types of stuff. Okay, well, that's coming from the IRGC. We also have reports of folks, bear with me here, another ballistic missile wave inbound. I'm getting a report just now. Israel will, as a matter of fact, retaliate against Iran tonight. That is coming out, report just now, coming out of Israel. Well, folks. Well. I'm checking for updates here. Some footage here from 10 minutes ago. These are Israeli interceptors blasting down Iranian ballistic missiles. Take a look. You see the Israeli interceptors. This is from the last attack, like 10 minutes ago. The interceptors go up, and they're in the air hunting for ballistic missiles. Just a short little clip there. Uh-huh. Yep. Now we heard from the IDF that every single Iranian missile was intercepted. We also got maybe a slightly conflicting report that one of them actually crashed in the middle of a field. So we will see. But if I had to take a guess here, the Iranians probably... Well, it's actually... It's difficult to say what I was about to say. We have seen probably 10 to 15 ballistic missiles sort of over the skies of Israel since we've been watching here. The interesting thing is, though, we have a lot of information suggesting that about 9 out of every 10 Iranian ballistic missiles fired actually get intercepted before they even get close to Israel. Because we've got missile interception batteries over Kuwait and all throughout Iraq and in Syria. And so the missiles that we see over the skies of Israel, that's the extreme minority. Most of them get intercepted minutes before they even get close to Israel. That's what we've seen in the past. So you can, I guess, if you want to do some math, napkin math here, if we see 10 ballistic missiles over the skies of Israel, the Iranians might have actually fired 100 ballistic missiles, 90% of which got intercepted before they even got close. That's kind of the ratio that we've seen during the 14-day war, right before Operation, what was it, Midnight Hammer, Operation Midnight Hammer. And we saw that during the first month or so of Epic Fury as well. Okay, what do I have here? According to Israel's emergency services, which is called Magen David Adom, following the launch of Iranian ballistic missiles against Israel, 2 people were injured while en route to a sheltered area. So far, these appear to be the only casualties from Iran's most recent waves of strikes. Okay, 2 Israelis injured. We don't know to what degree. We have a statement from the IRGC. According to the IRGC, via the Fars news agency, which is the Iranian state media, quote, tonight's operation was merely a warning announcement, and if aggression is repeated, the responses will be broader and include all American Zionist targets in the region. The IRGC then cites their reason for tonight's ballistic missile attack against northern Israel as Israel's continued strikes against Lebanon and U.S. attacks against the Iranian coastline and vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, the Sea of Oman, and the Indian Ocean. So Iran is lashing out. They're lashing out. We'll see what happens here. I'll tell you something. This is my personal opinion. I think Trump really, perhaps too much, Trump really wants a path of diplomacy here. You can tell. Trump really seems to be, he really wants to figure this out via diplomatic means. So we will see if this Iranian attack on Israel kind of pushes Trump over the edge, what he decides to do. Guess we'll find out. Time will tell here. Hold up, I've got an update here. Okay, actually several updates. Okay, so Trump is actually speaking on Fox News right now. I cannot show you that footage because it's live on Fox, but I can give you some of the quotes. Trump just said on Fox News that we are close to a deal with Iran. He said that Iran had better get back to the table right now and make a deal. Iran has just said that they will not tolerate any type of truce as long as violations are made against Lebanon. So for the Iranian regime, they don't want anybody touching Lebanon. Hezbollah is off limits. You're not allowed to bomb Hezbollah, according to the Iranians. The senior Iranian source to Reuters just now said Iran will respond to any Israeli attack with greater force. All right. So Iran is now saying if Israel attacks us in response for what we just did to them, then we will escalate. Okay, I have a direct quote from President Trump. Speaking moments ago on Fox News, President Trump said regarding tonight's Iranian retaliatory ballistic missile attack against northern Israel, quote, "What I would suggest to Iran, you've shot your missiles, that's enough, get back to the table and make a deal." That's the quote from Trump 2 minutes ago. Once again, quote, "What I would suggest to Iran, you've shot your missiles, that's enough, get back to the table, make a deal." The U.S. in the Middle East right now is on high alert, military alert. CENTCOM update. High alert right now in the CENTCOM region. Makes sense. You understand why. Yeah, it'll be really curious. I think right now it's clear Trump wants a diplomatic path, and you know what? Credit to him. I just reminder here to myself and to everyone here, I suppose. Keep in mind, Trump has infinitely more knowledge, insight, information, the intelligence than I have, than presumably anyone else has here. All of the classified intel, Trump's got it. I don't. So me personally, I'm deferential to Trump in situations like this. I trust that he knows what is best here. That being said, it's going to be very curious to see what happens with Israel and Iran. Israel is pissed, perhaps rightfully so. Israel is publicly broadcasting that they want to strike Iran. They want to start blowing up power plants. Iran says, if you do that, then we're going to double down. If you go tit for tat, we're going tit for tat. So right now, this situation is on a razor's edge, very sensitive right now. You could see how this could spiral out and escalate very quickly in a very crazy way. Edge of our seat. We're sitting on the edge of our seat right now. Now, I will say, folks, if you're new to the show here, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. I appreciate that a lot. It really does help. Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing a quick scan here. Second by second, I've got you guys posted. Seems like a lot of planes, both U.S. and Israeli, have been scrambled into the air. The planes are in the air. We're talking refuelers, stratotankers. Seems like bombers and fighters as well. You know, you never know when you will need them. So this is one opinion I'm reading from that Fox News interview Trump just gave. This is an opinion. I have not listened to it myself. We've pulled out a couple quotes, though. President Trump appears to suggest he will not support Israeli retaliation against Iran, allegedly. What's this? All U.S. bases in the region will be considered legitimate targets for Tehran if Israel attacks. This is coming from a senior Iranian source talking to Reuters. Once again, a senior Iranian source has just said to Reuters that if Israel attacks Iran in retaliation, then all U.S. bases in the region are considered legitimate targets. So we shall see. Once again, I said right now we're on a razor's edge right now. Razor's edge. Right now we are sitting on a freaking powder keg, folks. Iranian air defenses have allegedly, this is coming from them, so grain of salt here. Iranian air defenses have shot down a hostile UAV over Tabriz in northwestern Iran. The Iranians are claiming to have shot down either a U.S. or Israeli drone. Who knows if that's true? They talk about shooting down a lot of things that I think are not the case. There is some type of aerial activity over Tehran right there. What do you see? There's something flying over Tehran. Some plane is just taken off. What the hell do you think? Keep in mind, you see that on a camera on temporary cam 2. Keep in mind, there's a total Iranian airspace shutdown right now. So who the hell, I don't think it's a missile. Who the hell is in that airplane? Okay, breaking news right now. Iraq has just temporarily shut down its own airspace and suspended 100% of air navigation over Iraq due to reasons related to the safety of air traffic. Well, yeah, I mean, you've got missiles and jets and God knows what drones flying over. You'd probably want to ground everything. Okay, folks, update from President Trump right now. He just said this on Fox. President Trump has just told Fox News he expected a peace agreement with Iran to be signed Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but now this has taken place. Okay. Trump says he had expected a peace deal, an agreement with Iran this upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but now this situation has taken place. So that is what Trump has just said a moment ago. Iran has just closed its western airspace to civil traffic. Can we pull up Flight Radar? Flight Radar. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Okay, one moment here, ladies and gentlemen. This is flight traffic over the Middle East right now. We are currently only tracking military or government aircraft. This is a U.S. Strato to Pegasus. British. Where are you going? Where are you going, buddy? The Brits have an air base in Cyprus. Now, okay, this is military. Let's take a look at civilian. And what do you see? Nobody's flying over Syria. Nobody's flying over Iraq. Nobody's flying over Iran. Not yet. Now, where in the hell are you going? This is Iraqi. Some Iraqi passenger plane over eastern Turkey. Kuwaiti passenger plane getting out of town. I wouldn't want to be in that plane right now, I'll tell you what. Folks, I'll tell you, right now, we are sitting on the edge of our seat to wait and see. Really, I think it comes down to what is Israel going to do? What is Israel going to do? Because Iran has just attacked Israel. They fired 3 volleys of ballistic missiles at them. What is Israel going to do? Iraqi airspace is now closed. When asked about today's Israeli strikes on the Lebanese capital of Beirut, which spurred the Iranian ballistic missile launches tonight against northern Israel, President Trump said that he is, quote, not happy about it, and that the strikes were not coordinated with the United States. That's coming from Trump just now. Man, we need some prayers for President Trump here. This guy is in a very difficult situation. Very difficult position to be in. Iran's IRGC has just announced that it conducted a ballistic missile attack on Israel's Ramat David Air Base tonight after Israel's attack on Beirut earlier today. Trump on Fox News about Israel striking Beirut earlier today says, quote, I'm not happy about it. Not happy about it. I will tell you something here. This is Israeli politician. What is his exact position? Can I translate this to English? I'm not speaking Hebrew. Minister of National Security. This is the Israeli Minister of National Security. He says, and I quote, tonight, Tehran must burn, is what he says. So we know how the Israelis feel. We know what they want to do here. Now we'll see what happens. Iran has already issued a preemptive statement here. They've said, if Israel retaliates against us, we will escalate on our end. 17 Grasshopper, hey, thank you very much. Welcome to the show. Right now, it's live coverage of what the hell's going on in the Middle East. You know, people have been saying that for 3,000 years. What the hell is going on in the Middle East? And so now here we are, continuing a tradition that really is as old as recorded human history. And that tradition is called, what the hell is going on in the Middle East? Here we are. Welcome. You're tuning in live. Here we are. We've got live second by second updates here. Okay, breaking update 15 seconds ago. Israel is set to deliver a powerful response to tonight's Iranian ballistic missile fire, 2 Israeli sources have just now told CNN. Well, can we say there you have it? Israel is set to deliver a powerful response to Iran tonight. Now, do we have a time? What time? It's, 11:08 p.m. Is that Israeli time? Yeah. In Israel, it is 11 p.m. And in Iran, that must mean that it's, what, midnight 30? I think they're 90 minutes ahead, midnight 38. Well, so much for the regular old show today, huh, folks? Doing a quick scan here. Okay, I'm getting a report out of an Israeli news outlet called N12. Trump allegedly, according to one news outlet, N12, Israeli outlet, I'm going to wait for this airplane. Trump has allegedly just told Netanyahu to not carry out retaliatory strikes against Iran. Allegedly, this is coming from one outlet. Okay, actually, I'm hearing, this is reporter Barak Ravid. He is saying, President Trump tells me directly, I'm calling Netanyahu right now and telling him not to attack in response. Trump just told reporter Barak Ravid, I'm calling Netanyahu right now and telling him not to respond. So, presumably, that was 3 minutes ago. Presumably, right this very second, right this moment, Trump is on the phone. Listen, Bibi. Listen, Bibi. We're so close to a deal, and we don't want to lose this. Maybe that's what Trump is saying right now to Netanyahu. Right now, folks, although, listen, you need to keep in mind, we are operating, you know, within, it's called the fog of war. We're trying to make sense of all of it. Thank you all for being here with me. That he will call Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu right now following Iran's targeting of northern Israel in retaliation of Israel's targeting of Beirut. Maybe somebody doesn't know. Why is Israel bombing Beirut? What's going on? So Beirut, it's in Lebanon. This is sort of the home base, the home turf of Hezbollah. Hezbollah is an Iranian regime. Hezbollah is a terrorist force, terrorist proxy force, propped up by the Iranian regime. So Iran props up Hezbollah. Hezbollah skirmishes and fights with Israel along their northern border. It's a rough neighborhood. If I can kind of show you, put this on a map here for you. So this is Israel. Okay, here is the northern border. Northern border right here, this little white line. And this is Lebanon. Here's Beirut. And so Beirut, really all up and down Lebanon, Hezbollah is entrenched. Bunkers and tunnels and storage facilities and da-da-da-da-da-da. So, get rid of this over here. Sound is off. Can you guys hear me? Everybody type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Maybe some people are having audio issues. 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm getting mixed reports here. 1? Okay. Okay. Here's here's maybe what I'll do. 1 second here. One moment here, folks. There you go. Okay. Sometimes YouTube has a little hiccup there. Yeah, folks. Okay, confirmations. Trump is on the phone right now with Benjamin Netanyahu, and they're going to figure out what are we going to do here. And you've got two. I'm sure, I'm positive right now you are having a very heated, a very spirited conversation. Bibi most certainly wants to carry out retaliatory strikes against the Iranians, of course. And it seems like Trump does not want Israel to do that. Trump is holding out for some type of deal. Trump seems to have some reason to believe that a deal is close. We got a quote from Trump 10 minutes ago when he was just speaking on Fox News. He said, we were close to a deal on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this week. And then this happened. We were within 3 days of a deal, Trump said, and then this happened. And so Trump thinks there's a deal that's possible. And then you saw these ballistic missiles flying through the air. And so Israel's pissed off. Netanyahu most certainly is not happy about this. Trump is wrong. Well, once again, here's what I'll say. I try not to be hubristic. As a matter of fact, Trump has more intel. The intelligence, like the actual military classified intelligence on all of this. He's got that, and I don't. I don't have that. Trump is directly involved in the negotiations. He knows who's talking and who's saying what and which parties are involved. Trump knows infinitely more about the current state of the situation than I do, presumably than anyone else does. So once again, my position when talking about what should Trump do, I trust Trump to make the proper move here because he's the one with the information. He's got more than me. I'm watching from the outside. Now, hold up. Is Bibi a warmonger? Here's what I'll tell you. I think it's fair to say Bibi is operating in what he perceives to be the best interests of Israel, which I suppose is what any leader should do. That said, Trump is operating in what he believes to be in the best interest of the United States of America. Sometimes those interests are the same. The best interest of Israel, the best interest of America. Sometimes those are in lockstep. I think other times they're not. Other times they're not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Now, I'll tell you something that's funny. Right now, everything is silent. No information coming out. Why? Well, because I think Trump is on the phone with Netanyahu right now. We're not getting any updates, no news. It's been like 5 minutes. Where are the updates? We're not getting them because Trump is on the phone right now with Netanyahu, figuring it out. Now, a recap here, if anybody is new. What's going on? What happened here? Okay, series of events. Hezbollah operates in Lebanon, namely Beirut, and they have been attacking Israel. Israel, earlier today, a couple hours ago, carried out a series of strikes against Hezbollah in Beirut, in Lebanon. Iran is not happy about that. The Iranian regime is not happy about that. Hezbollah is effectively, they are literally, Hezbollah is literally an Iranian regime-backed terror force, sort of paramilitary organization that is hell-bent on attacking Israel, and that's what they've been doing. And so Iran, just an hour ago, because Israel attacked Hezbollah in Beirut, Iran, an hour ago, launched 3 different volleys of ballistic missiles at Israel. The first time they've done that since the beginning of this ceasefire. And so now Israel, they are very upset. They're upset that they've had these volleys of Iranian ballistic missiles fired at them. Okay, makes sense. Israel wants to retaliate. Israel wants to blow the living hell out of Iran tonight. Specifically, they want to attack the Iranian energy infrastructure, power grid, electrical facilities, whatever, oil, storage facilities, etc., stuff like that. Seems like Trump does not want them to do that. At the moment, it seems like Trump does not want Israel to engage in those sort of retaliatory strikes against Iran. And so right now, Trump and Netanyahu, right this moment, they are on a phone call. Figuring out, okay, what's the plan going forward? What do we do here? Now, I've got a statement coming out from Kan News. This is an Israeli news outlet. Trump in a statement to Kan News, and I quote, "I think Israel has responded enough. They don't need to respond anymore." That is a quote being attributed to Trump from Israeli news outlet Kan News. That one just came out. Once again, folks, listen, something to keep in mind here. When we are doing these live news coverage events, we are doing breaking news coverage. Things change moment to moment. Fog of war type of scenario. Trump allegedly just told Axios, Iranian strikes didn't hurt anybody. Hopefully Israel is not going to retaliate. Trump tells Axios, the Iranian strikes didn't hurt anybody. Hopefully Israel is not going to retaliate. At the same time, we have a statement from the IRGC. Ooh, good God. You ready? It's a long one. And I quote from the IRGC, "In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the Zionist aggressor regime, by repeatedly violating the ceasefire, has been increasing its evils against the oppressed people of Lebanon day by day with the green light and support of the criminal America and the silence of the international community, and has been committing war crimes using banned weapons, including phosphorus bombs, since Friday. Despite the previous warnings of the Islamic Republic of Iran, its child Zionist regime has crossed all red lines and intensified attacks in southern Lebanon, targeting the Beirut suburbs. We had previously decided that if the crime in the Beirut suburbs expands, we will bombard targets in the occupied territories. The Zionist army must stop its attacks on southern Lebanon and the suburbs, and if it expands its attacks on that region or responds to Iran's actions, it will face more crushing and even more regrettable blows, and destructive attacks will begin against the Zionist regime and its supporters. And there is no victory except for Allah, the Almighty and the Wise." That is a statement from the IRGC operational headquarters just a moment ago. Thank you for that. Wow, thank you. We're breaking it all down. According to Barack Ravid, during his call with the U.S. President Donald Trump, President Trump said he thinks that both sides have had their fun, and he hopes that Israel will not retaliate, saying, quote, "The Iranian strikes didn't hurt anybody. Hopefully Israel is not going to retaliate." Trump additionally said that they are close to a deal with Iran despite the week's escalations. Once again, that's from reporter Barack Ravid. Now, Barack Ravid, although he works for Axios, which is generally a pretty fake news outlet, it is a matter of fact, Barack Ravid does have a direct line to President Trump, and they're oftentimes calling each other in conflicts like this. I will tentatively say Barack Ravid is generally pretty trustworthy with what he reports on. Although he is a reporter for Axios. Now, this phone call between Barack Ravid and Trump would have happened 10, 15 minutes ago, because right now we know for a fact Trump is on the phone with Netanyahu. Trump is talking to Netanyahu. And man, I'll tell you what, to be a fly on the wall listening to that conversation, could you imagine? We know for a fact some of these calls between Trump and Netanyahu, they get pretty spicy. Sometimes they're yelling, they're swearing at each other. We know that. So, man, imagine what they're saying right now. Time will tell. I'm sure we'll find out here. Not too long. I'm sure. Oh. You know, here's a curious thing. While we are waiting for the results of this phone call between Trump and Bibi, I can't do this on the Rumble chat, but I can do this on the YouTube chat. Here's what I can do. I want to do a poll. Okay. Should we bomb Iran now? Yes or no? I want to know what you guys have to say. I'm sorry, the Rumblers, this is a YouTube poll. I'm sorry. Should we, I'm going to say the U.S., the USA, bomb Iran now? Yes or no? And I want everybody to vote. Pay attention. Wake up. Wake up. Because right now it seems like Trump kind of doesn't want it. Trump is pursuing the diplomatic path for now. At least it seems like that's the direction he wants to go in. I'm going to see what the audience has to say here. On Rumble, just type a yes or no, and I'm going to look at the audience. You guys let me know that way. On YouTube, we've got the actual poll up here. Put that right there. Can I zoom in? Yep. And right now, I'll tell you, we've had, let's let it get to 1,000 votes here. One moment here. I'm not even gonna read it till we get to 1,000 and 1,000. Should we, the USA, bomb Iran now? 82% of the respondents say yes. 82%. 18% say no. 18% say no. So you read the room, you look at the audience. Seems like most people are like, come on, Trump. We have given them a chance. We've tried to talk, the deal, the negotiation. We really have tried. It is time for the FAFO moment. It seems like what the people want here. Now, I have a super chat from my own wife. She says, would you like some lunch now or wait until a little later? Sweetheart, you could bring that in now. Thank you very much for asking. Thank you for the $10, sweetheart. It's coming out of my own bank account. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think we have a minute here while we continue the coverage. And the coverage will continue. Because right now, Trump, like we said, Trump is on the phone with Netanyahu right this very moment. Do we have any other updates here? The IRG Aerospace Force has released footage showing the launch of numerous medium-range ballistic missiles towards Israel tonight. Is that right? We have ballistic missile launch footage released by the IRGC. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at it. Get a load of this. Uh-huh. Thank you, dear. Thank you, sweetheart. So they have this propaganda message on the side of the missile. Hold up. And they're launching this thing. Okay. So this is your Iranian propaganda. Let me guess. That's America? Is that supposed to represent this like satanic demon? Is that the evil American empire? And they're launching their missiles. Wow. Okay. Wow. Nice one, Iran. Nice one. Another AI generated image. Super cool. They really love their AI generated propaganda, don't they? They love it. You know, now while President Trump is on the phone here with Netanyahu, now probably is a good time to take a peek at some of these Rumble rants and super chats. We have a Rumble rant from Don Cal. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. We've got our live cameras up here, folks. Once again, I want to share something with you. Every single one of these is a live open source intelligence news tracker figuring out. So nothing is happening here in the Middle East that we are not going to see. Every single second breaking news updates, we've got it all on lock. So you're not going to miss anything here. And while we do have somewhat of a little bit of a reprieve, I'm going to do some super chats. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. It really does help a lot. Thank you all for being here today. And I'll tell you what, right now we are waiting to see what does Israel do. Is Israel going to engage in some type of retaliatory attack? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Kimberly Kelly says, Matt, how do they verify signature if they are mostly mail-in ballots or no? Yeah, they don't. They don't verify it. Isn't that great? Thank you. Thank you very much. Eaters of Dead, thank you very much. Kevlar, thank you very, very much. A lot of super chats here today. It's one of those crazy days. Eric Applefinger, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Back to common sense. What are we talking about here? Hey, I really appreciate that massive super chat. Thank you very much. That's a $50 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Hey, Trump is a respectful guy. It's true. Thank you very much. Huge one. Thank you. Thank you. Folks, we are waiting to see what is the outcome of this Trump-Netanyahu phone call. Where do we go from here? Morris Force 1, thank you very much for the super chats. Eaters of Dead, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Deborah, Papa Howell, Keegan, MMD, thank you, folks. Thank you very much. It's one of those crazy live breaking news coverage days here. Iran has said that if Israel carries out a retaliatory strike, that then Iran, they will escalate and attack again with even more ballistic missiles. Salty says, Button, thanks for the live updates. Also, Button, thank you. Thank you very much. If I had to guess, I think something that is in the back of President Trump's head here is the clock on the War Powers Resolution. Trump had 60 days to engage in offensive maneuvers here in the Middle East, and then another 30 days to sort of de-escalate out of the situation. So 90 days total to engage in hostilities abroad in accordance with the War Powers Resolution without needing congressional approval. Well, it's like we're on like day 100 or something, day 97, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, the point is we are beyond that 90-day window. And so I think that is also probably weighing on Trump's mind here. You know, now, if Iran attacks a U.S. asset and kills Americans or blows up a U.S. base, then I suppose, in accordance with the War Powers Resolution, Trump would have the pretense to act defensively because we had been attacked. So there's a lot of nuance here with this situation. A lot of nuance here. Trump does not just have the complete and total unilateral dictatorial authority to do whatever the hell he wants right now. Perhaps. It's arguable. Like I said, there's nuance here. Phil Beard. Massive super chat, $100 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He says, great coverage. Keep on keeping on, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Huge support. And so, Phil, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this. You know, this is probably the reason why Trump and Hegseth and Marco Rubio, starting about 2.5 weeks ago, what did they start saying publicly? They said, Operation Epic Fury is over. It's done. The war in Iran is done. They started pushing this narrative, this rhetoric, about 2.5 weeks ago. Epic Fury is over. It's over. The war is done. It's over. We have the blockade. But that's a non-wartime action. We are, in fact, they're not even phrasing it as a blockade anymore. They're phrasing it as we are policing international waters, which is that's not a wartime maneuver. We always do that. And so if I had to guess, I think that the reason why they changed their rhetoric, it's over. Epic Fury's done. It's over. The war is over. The conflict is over. Probably in an attempt to reset that clock on the War Powers Act. The optics are important. Okay, now what's this? I've got an update here. In a short call earlier this evening with New York Post's Caitlin Dornbos, President Trump was asked about tonight's Iranian ballistic missile attack against Israel and ongoing negotiations with Iran, to which he said he couldn't talk now, but added, things are going very, very well. Very curious. So this is after Iran fired God knows how many ballistic missiles at Israel. Trump said things are still going very, very well. And, you know, there's something here that must kind of be kept in mind, is that it's probably unfair or inappropriate to say the Iranian regime or the IRGC. I don't think there is just one the IRGC or the singular Iranian regime. It's fragmented. I'm sure there are more moderates in the country that want a deal that are currently talking to Trump, and these are the people Trump is presumably talking to. There might even be people inside the IRGC that are like, you know what, okay, it's over, let's just surrender and be done with this. And then, of course, you have your diehard, insane, psychotic radicals that are like, you know, death to America, death to the evil Zionist regime. They'd rather get blown up than surrender, you know. Seems like there's a lot of internal sort of factional infighting inside of Iran right now. Who's in charge? There's a power struggle inside. Who's even running the damn country? Hard to tell. And that makes Trump's job even more difficult than it otherwise had to be. Now, what am I seeing here? Visual confirmation of an Iranian ballistic missile impact in northern Israel. Is that right?
Whoa.
So this might be the one that hit a field. Well, first off, is this even from tonight? This is a trustworthy OSINT page that I've been following for a long. So I'll go ahead and give this page the benefit of the doubt. Because some of these pages, they're posting videos from years ago, saying, "Oh my gosh, look what just happened." It's like, well, that footage is from 18 months ago, you know. But this, we did get a report that there was one ballistic missile that made its way through that hit not a building but an open field in northern Israel. So this could be that. Could be. It's hard to know exactly anything definitively now. It's too early. Now, what do we have now? What do we have here? Now, what do we have here? Okay, a statement from Iranian's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. He just held a call with the French, Qatari foreign ministers on Iran's response against Israel and regional developments. So, once again, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi just was on the phone with the French and the Qatari foreign ministers discussing Iran's response against Israel and other regional developments. You know, if you just want to kind of go down that rabbit hole, we were talking about how there's all this factional infighting inside of Iran right now. Who's in charge? Who's really calling the shots? Nobody knows. It is possible that a guy like Abbas Araghchi, you know, just hear me out. We don't know any of this, but we're going to sit here and just kind of speculate here for a minute, if you will allow me. Abbas Araghchi might perhaps be one of the moderates within the regime, and he might be one of the people that's looking to make a deal or have a negotiated surrender. Meanwhile, you might have more diehard radicals, the zealots, members of this jihadi death cult inside of Iran. They are the ones that perhaps fired the ballistic missiles. And so you're in a situation where it's like, this group is firing missiles, this group over here, or this guy over here is trying to negotiate a surrender, and the guy that's negotiating the surrender, he was caught off guard. He didn't know that they were going to fire the missiles at all. Who the hell knows? Who knows? And so people say, well, why hasn't there been a deal yet? I think we're seeing firsthand why. It's just complete and total chaos. Complete and total chaos inside of this regime. Total chaos. So right now, folks, here's what's happening. Trump and Netanyahu are on a phone call right now deciding what are they going to do? What are we going to do? What's the plan forward here? We're getting numerous reports suggesting that Trump right now on this phone call to Netanyahu is telling him or requesting of him to not retaliate against Iran. That Trump allegedly, reportedly, does not want Israel to retaliate against Iran. We're getting reports that Trump is not happy, quote, not happy about Israel's strikes on Beirut earlier today, and that the attacks on Beirut were not coordinated with the United States. So you've got Trump trying to negotiate a deal, and maybe we're close. Trump, at a minimum, Trump seems to think we are close to having this negotiated surrender. Meanwhile, allegedly, Israel attacks Beirut without coordinating with the U.S. Trump did not know they were going to do it. And in response to this uncoordinated Israeli attack on Beirut, then Iran fires ballistic missiles at Israel, and now here we are. This kind of seems to be the picture at the moment. So I would imagine Trump is it's a difficult spot to be in. Let's put it that way. Difficult spot to be in. And right now the news is kind of slowly trickling out, and the reason why is because I really think everybody is just waiting to see what what is said or determined during this phone call between Trump and Netanyahu. The entire world is waiting. You know, there's U.S. interests, there's Israeli interests, and then there's the interests of all these different competing factions inside of Iran. Maybe a more moderate faction, maybe a more aggressive, zealous faction, and all of these different interests are going to have to come together at some point, and we're going to have to bring this to an end. We have a massive Rumble rant from 10H Gal Now says, always appreciate your coverage, Matt. Thank you very much for being here today. On a Sunday of all days, too. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's a massive one, too. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Olivia, yes. Okay, I'll try to give a little bit of a crash course recap of everything that has gone down in the last 12 hours leading up to where we are now. Okay. So, and once again, all of this is kind of still within the realm of allegedly, reportedly, this is what we're seeing, fog of war type of scenario, but this is what seems to be the case. Earlier today, Israel attacked Beirut because, Hezbollah is operating out of Beirut. And of course, for those of you that don't know, Hezbollah is an Iranian backed proxy force or paramilitary organization. And so Israel carried out reportedly a targeted strike on a Hezbollah compound or various Hezbollah locations in Beirut in Lebanon, up to their north. Reportedly, the United States, Trump, was not given a heads up. Israel just did this and did not let the U.S. know that they were going to do this, carry out these strikes. Consequentially, Iran, about 90 minutes ago, fired at a minimum three, ballistic missile volleys towards Israel, to the northern side of Israel. And this is the first time that Iran has fired ballistic missiles at Israel since the ceasefire opened up. Or since the ceasefire began a couple weeks ago. And so now Israel is absolutely livid, as anyone would be after having targeted by ballistic missiles. Israel wants to retaliate against Iran and blow the living shit out of them. The Israeli National Security Advisor said that they want to blow up all their power plants. Actually, he said that Iran must burn tonight, is what he said. So Israel wants to retaliate big time. Reportedly, Trump does not want them to retaliate. Trump does not want Israel to retaliate. Reportedly. And right this very moment, Trump is on a phone, he's having a phone call with Benjamin Netanyahu, hashing this out. Where do we go from here? At the same time, Iran, the Iranian regime, or whoever is inside Iran, is promising that if Israel does retaliate, that Iran is going to escalate. You thought 3 waves of ballistic missiles was bad? Make it 10. They're going to escalate the entire situation. So that is where things currently are. Right now, everyone is waiting to see what happens between Trump and Netanyahu. They're on a phone call right now, hashing this out. What's going on? Where do we go from here? We got a statement from Trump a couple hours ago. He said, well, this was following these attacks, so maybe about an hour ago. Trump said, we were very close to a deal. We would have had a deal on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this week, and then this happened. That's coming from Trump. Following these ballistic missile attacks from Iran over to Israel. He said we were within 3 days of a deal. We would have had it by Wednesday at the latest. And then this happened. We also got a report that Trump is, quote, not happy that Israel bombed Beirut earlier today. He didn't know about it, reportedly. Reportedly. Okay, I've got some curious footage here. Can I share with you guys? What do we have here? An unknown aircraft, possibly a U.S. or Israeli surveillance drone, crashed tonight in the desert to the southwest of Baghdad in eastern Iraq. The aircraft, which was initially claimed by several local outlets to have been a commercial airliner, though this has since been debunked, crashed around the start of the ballistic missile attack earlier against northern Israel. Okay. Well, it doesn't look big enough to be a commercial airliner. Right, who the hell knows what this thing was? Who the hell knows?
وين رايح؟ تعال 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 هسه اوقف محمد جيب هاي السيارة؟ جيب السيارة بس
Well, time will tell. Something went down. Could have been a drone. Could have been a small plane. I don't know. I don't know. Time will tell. There's something I was... What was I going to read here? SW22944. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Thank you very much. Who the hell knows what it was? Could have been, for lack of a better word, some type of spy plane, some type of small 2, 3, 4, 5-man plane carrying, I don't know, Mossad agents or CIA. Who the hell knows what is going on over there? There was a chatter in the chat. He just said, I'm Iranian from northwest Iran outside of Tabriz, and I just heard 2 big explosions. Okay, well, there's one report out of the live chat. You know Israel wants to retaliate tonight. You know they do. And it seems like Trump doesn't want them to do it. Trump does not want them to do it. Scanning for updates here. How is shilling for Israel? Is it worth it? Do you feel good about it? Can I tell you something at risk of pissing off people in the live chat here? Really, the only country that I have a vested interest in is the United States of America. I care about pretty much exclusively what is best for America. Now, if that is good for other countries as well, then good. That's great, I guess. 2 birds, 1 stone. But when I say America first, that's what I mean. First off, what is best for this country? Oftentimes, I will say, whatever is best for America tends to be best for other countries as well. But that's kind of my calculus. Is this good or bad for America? Now, I'm doing a little scan here. Right now, like I've been saying, everything is kind of quiet for the moment because that phone call is going down. Trump is on the phone call with Netanyahu. We will see. Selling puts, he says, Rumble Rant, he says, Israel knows that Iran demands no more attacks in Lebanon as part of a peace deal, and then they do this. Are they sabotaging a peace deal on purpose. You know, as we've said before, there are American interests and there are Israeli interests. And sometimes I think those interests overlap. Maybe most of the time they do. Perhaps sometimes they don't. We saw Trump, as a matter of fact, about 4 or 5 days ago. We reported on this. Trump was livid at Netanyahu during that phone call. In fact, Trump came out, confirmed it. Netanyahu confirmed it. Trump was very upset at Netanyahu about 5 days ago, where he was swearing at him. He was cursing him out. Sometimes there can still be some drama sometimes, I think. Hold up here. Okay, update. U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu are currently speaking by phone right now, following tonight's Iranian ballistic missile attack. Ballistic missile attack against northern Israel, according to Israel's Channel 12 News. That phone call's going on. And once that phone call's over, I would imagine we're going to get a flurry of news. A flurry. It'll be coming out. What are they saying during the phone call? So Iran, about 90 minutes ago, folks, fired 3 individual volleys, different waves of ballistic missiles at Israel, northern Israel.